Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Sam with Vertical Expressions coming at you with another chicka. A fresh episode of Not Another Christian Podcast. Now, I know because I already had some people reach out to like, bro, you're so inconsistent. You're so inconsistent, bro. You said you've been gone for a minute, now you're back, but you're not really back. Just being inconsistent, and I understand. And I owe you guys an apology. I'm sorry. Because I do think that there's a part of all of this that's beyond me. It's for the community. I do believe that God has used me to speak a word over someone who might have needed it at a specific given moment. And I recognize that I've kind of lost sight of that and just kind of focused on me. And I'm sorry, but I'll let you guys know what's been going on. So my home church has been going through a rebuild of sorts, a transition. And I've just been really busy making sure that the foundation is laid. Well, you know, strong foundation means a strong house. And I know y'all can't be mad at that. Y'all can't be mad because you're nice people. You're better than me. So that means you have to forgive me. That means you have to accept my apology. But let's get into it. I am telling you, I am going to be making I'm going to be trying my hardest to upload consistently. I'm not saying I'm going to upload frequently, but I will do it consistently at least once a week. That's my goal. Because I do believe that this has purpose. These conversations, not only do they give me an opportunity to express myself and get to hear your opinions, but I feel like for a lot of you, you get to listen. You get to be part of this conversation. It makes you think about things maybe you wouldn't have. And so you come at me with some thoughts, and I don't know, it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic. So I will say this, though. And it has a lot to do with the title of the video, which is what? Confronting Insecurity, right? I think the hardest challenge, or why I'm like, I rather not upload than upload and be busy. Like if I'm too busy, I'm just not going to upload, is because a part of me is still very much afraid of uploading a whack video. Sorry, excuse me. I had a cup of nitro. Nitro is a specific morning drink that I make. Nothing crazy, but I'll share you guys the recipe. If we hit 400, listen, breaking news. Breaking news. 360 seconds. I'm sorry. 367 subscribers as of the time that I'm recording this video, right? By the way, good morning. Happy Saturday. Thank you for tuning in. 367 subscribers. If we hit 400 subscribers by Vertical Expressions 1 year anniversary, first of all, thank you, because not only have we blown past my expectations of how far the page or how much the page would have grown, how far we would have gotten in a year. Right? I didn't do this expecting to, make it overnight. I was like, in a year, I want to have, realistically, I was like, in a year, I want to have 300 subscribers. May 5th is Vertical Expressions anniversary. All right? We hit 400 subscribers by the anniversary, and I'll share my super secret ingredients and recipe to my infamous nitro drink. But getting back on point, confronting insecurity. One of the biggest issues that I had was, man, I don't want to upload a whack video. Let's be honest. I just don't want to upload a whack video. I don't have the time to sit down and come up with this concept of a video and what I want to talk about and what I want to do. I don't have the time to really give it the most of me, because there are other things in my life right now that they're just so demanding. And I made a personal decision a very long time ago that I was going to make myself available to God to serve in whichever capacity he wants me to, above or before I ever go about pursuing my own passion. And Vertical Expressions is definitely a dream and a vision that God gave me that I do believe goes beyond me. And I understand that that's a responsibility, but I just can't say no, to seeing the void or seeing the emptiness or seeing a necessity, something that needs to be done in my home church, and I just ignore it because I'm busy doing my own thing. I just can't do that. I'm not saying it's wrong if you do it. I just can't do that because that's like, you guys know Samson, right? And how his power came from his hair. First, fresh out the shower, so I got my hair is still wet. I know it looks crazy. Don't judge me though. Samson got his power from his hair, whatever. There was a pact, there was a covenant that was made. So they cut his hair, he lost his power, right? For me, I see it as something like that, and I understand that could be a crutch, a spiritual crutch, but for me, it means something. I always want to make myself available to God because I believe that He is the source of my talents, of my skills, of everything that I've been able to accomplish. He's been the center. He's been at the center of it, and it did come with hard work. It did come with dedication and discipline, but I believe that the only reason why I was allowed to have that dedication and discipline and that passion to see those things through was because of God. And I was insecure. I was insecure to upload a whack video, and I'm still very insecure. I told myself, listen, you're going to confront insecurity, and you're going to name the video Confronting Insecurity, because I'm not showing up to this video with a game plan. It's not like I got a script, talking points, or nothing. I usually do, but I don't. I do have a Bible verse because I want to start doing this thing to kind of, pad the timing. I want to do like a Bible verse of the day. This is what I read during the week, and this is what's in my head, and this is what I'm thinking, because I feel like I've strayed away from the Bible study a little bit much, but I just don't have the time to make multiple videos and Bible studies like I used to. Bible breakdown Bible studies for all my vintage subscribers. You already know what it is. I'm insecure of being judged. I'm insecure of making a video and getting 2 views. I'm insecure of not getting the likes. I'm insecure of failing, and I'm gonna be honest about it because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only person that's insecure, right? And it may not be YouTube, it may be something else. I am insecure of not reaching my goals. I am insecure of turning whatever age I'm turning and not being where I think I should be. I'm insecure of underperforming. I'm insecure about a lot of things, and these are just thoughts that I'm assuming that other people have because I have them. So the best way that I thought about confronting insecurity is just do it. Just do it. You're insecure about this thing, just do it, right? What's the worst that can happen? You fail, and now you're not insecure anymore because of everything that you were afraid of, the very thing that you were fearing has already come to pass, right? And if you were to try again and you fail, well, you're not really insecure anymore because you already failed. And then you try it again and you succeed. Well, then you accomplish something that you might have never done had you let insecurity cripple you. And I fear, not that I fear, I know that this generation is just plagued. Is it plagued? It's plagued, right? Here's the thing. I speak Spanish, and I've been speaking a lot of Spanish, and now I'm thinking in Spanish, and the words all sound, English words sound weird in my head, and I'm trying to find a balance, man. It's rough. It's been crippling. It's been, bro. New York. It's a problem that's this generation and every other generation has dealt with. You think about stories in the Bible, people who did specific things, insecurity. At the foundation of a lot of the bad decisions that we get to see in the Bible is a lot of insecurity, a lot of fear, a lot of I'm not good enough, a lot of that person's better than me, insecurity. And the people who I see win were not the people who weren't insecure. They were the people who just confronted their insecurity. And I guess what I'm trying to say, if I'm trying to say anything, is maybe we don't have to be not insecure. Maybe I don't have to wait until I have the idea of a perfect video and that makes me feel less insecure. Maybe I don't have to wait to feel less insecure for me to do something. Maybe what I'm losing in the process of like, oh, well, let me just wait until I feel more secure about this, more confident, right? Maybe what I'm losing in the process isn't even worth it. Maybe insecurity is just taking way too much. Maybe the key to this whole thing is forget what you're feeling, do what you got to do, trust the God that's at the end of the line, and just, do it. Do it. I don't know. I don't know. Confronting insecurity, everybody. It's my opening statement. It's something else that I want to talk about. Coronavirus vaccine. Oh, the coronavirus vaccine. I got into it wasn't an argument because no one was arguing a specific point, but I got into a discussion at the gym with a friend. And I was like, bro, I think Christians have been very hypocritical about this coronavirus vaccine. For one, let me be clear on my position, right? I have not gotten the vaccine. I work at a hospital. You're a Presbyterian, NYP for life. I work at a hospital. Definitely had the chance. I turned it down. I don't want to take the vaccine. But then again, I didn't really like the idea of taking any vaccine. I've never been a vaccination type of person. Not that I am anti-vaccines. If I don't have to, I won't. And that's just how it's been. I get the vaccines that I need. I don't get the vaccines that are not mandated, right? I was thinking, man, have I been a hypocrite? And this starts with me. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. God, have I been a hypocrite about this whole coronavirus vaccine? Because I talk a lot of trash about it, right? Because it feels good. Let's be honest. It feels good talking trash about that vaccine, right? Oh, you got the vaccine? Ugh. But I'm like, I don't know, because coronavirus hit about a month ago. Things were serious. April 2020, things were serious. And everybody's praying on your knees. Oh, God, please provide a way out. God, please provide an answer, a solution. Oh, God, do this. God, do that. And I prayed a lot. I prayed a lot for the community. There were a lot of people hurting. I saw the dead bodies. Like, I saw the portable morgues. I was there. It was in front of me. I witnessed this, and I'm praying, God, provide a way out, a solution, something, God, something. And a year later, literally a year later, it's being announced that everyone in New York will have availability to get the vaccine if they want to. And I'm criticizing it, right? And I'm criticizing it. And a lot of people believe that this is a marketing ploy. Coronavirus was created to force a vaccine down our throats that's going to mutate us, that's going to track us, that's going to, whatever. It's going to, you guys know. Come on now. You guys know what I'm talking about. You're right in the comments. I'm just kidding, JK. You guys are not that type of, you're not those type of people. I feel like maybe we got to take a second look. And I hate to admit it, right? But I feel like maybe we got to take a second look because it's easy to get carried away on the bandwagon and the train. But we prayed for a solution. We prayed for something to happen, a miracle, praying for a miracle. God, miracle. Well, for the first time ever, a vaccine was created in record time that's shown and proven to be effective against the coronavirus. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, there's statistics and they're making up information. Yeah. Well, the truth is, if we're not going to believe that, what are we going to believe, right? At this point, If this is fake, then everything else is fake. There's no point. All I know is that I saw the bodies in the bags, in the morgues, the portable morgues, the garbage trucks. I saw that. I didn't see it in the news. I witnessed it with my own eyes. Nah, people aren't getting sick. No one is really dying. Well, what was in the bags? I'll admit I didn't go up to the bag and start poking around like, is this really a person? I just know that there have been a lot of heartbroken people. You may not know them, but they're definitely all over the place. People who have lost people. I actually had a total of 4 colleagues, one of which still can't walk right, over the ailment, over catching coronavirus. That is very real. I witnessed it. I know this really happened. So it's not like if things weren't happening, right? And now we have this vaccine that's offering people a chance to not ever get to that point where, you know what, you're probably not going to die. I'm not saying you're not going to get sick. We're not saying you're not going to get sick. But the risk of death has been heavily reduced, and you'll be able to walk without suffocating. And I criticized it. And now I'm like, have I been a hypocrite, God? Because I've been praying for this miracle. Things are getting better. I'm not praying as much because the situation is not as bad. And you do that, right? You pray when it's bad, and then you stop praying when it's not as bad. So, God, did I miss the miracle? Was I expecting you to send a strong breeze and just blow the coronavirus away? What was I expecting of God? I'm either praying without faith or I'm praying with faith. And if I'm praying with faith, then I'm praying for God to provide a way, a miracle to deal with this coronavirus situation, because people are hurting, people are dying. It's affecting lives. Vaccine comes and it doesn't look the way I thought God would move. And some people will say, well, God didn't move. Well, I'm just saying this. I do believe that God is sovereign, 100%. I don't think there's anything that happens under the sun that God is not aware of, that God is not in full control of. He allowed it. I'm not saying he caused it. I'm saying he allowed it. Right? That's my faith. I'm sorry. I believe in a sovereign God. Now, he allowed the vaccine. It's not like if it slipped through the cracks. Like he's just like, oh my God, how did that happen? No, he saw it coming. And what if, God forbid, well, let me not God forbid, because in this case it's God. But what if God was just bless someone with the wisdom to create a solution for a problem upon our request? That's just what I'm going to say. Christians, what if it didn't come in a wind, right? What if it didn't come the way you were expecting it to come? Like, poof, the sun was going to be really hot one day and coronavirus was going to just evaporate because God sent this holy light. I don't know. What I do know is that we believe that God is the answer to how. So what if he just blessed humanity with the wisdom to get here? Think about it. It's a thought. It's worth talking about. I think so. Maybe we're just being really insecure in our faith, right? Maybe if we acknowledge that God can move through people, then it makes us responsible to move, right? If God can move through people, and it doesn't all have to be I don't want to say supernatural, because I do believe we see things that are supernatural all the time. It doesn't have to be some crazy mystic spiritual event that white blinding lights and winds and thunder and earthquakes. if we accept that maybe it doesn't have to happen that way and that God can really make a difference through a person, then that makes us responsible for making a difference. That makes us responsible for being available. And maybe there's an insecurity along the lines because we're not doing the best that we can do. Maybe we're not being or living that purpose that God designed us for. Wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be something? I'm about to go on 10 years of walking in the faith. And wouldn't it be something if for those 10 years, I've been going to church, getting to know God. I've been eating, feeding myself, and never giving, never putting out, right? Always taking in, but never putting out back into the community and the world. And then God comes along, finds this secular scientist, a mule, a donkey, and uses him to bless the world with a solution to something that I was praying for. That'll make you insecure. That's confrontation right there. That's a big deal. That's what have I been doing? Talking crap, maybe criticizing, judging, being completely selfish and just making sure that I am well. Meanwhile, the people around me suffer and I do nothing about it simply because I wasn't available. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying this is what's going on in my head. These are the conversations that are happening with God, and I'm thinking, wow. That makes me insecure. That makes me feel like I'm not good enough. That makes me feel like I'm not really doing much of anything. And that same feeling is what cripples me to do nothing. Where it's easier for me to not make a video than try to make a video with the little time that I have, because that video might just not be good enough. Food for thought, people. Food for thought. Got deep. Got deep. Oh, and another thing. Christian community, what's going on? I know this is old news, and I'm not making this the title of the video because it's not even a point. I'm not going to add more fire to the flame. But guys, what's going on? You guys heard the words. You guys read the words Satan's shoes and went crazy. OMG. The Christian community was set ablaze. Oh my God, these Satan shoes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not saying it's not important. But guys, at some point we have to accept responsibility for the way that we're responding to things. First of all, stop being on social media so much. I think that's the first problem here. Like, we know better. And we know better because we like to preach that we know better, right? We like to say, oh, we like to act real conscientious about things. Oh, I know better. I know better. I think so highly of myself. Oh, this, and that. But how much time are we even spending on social media that something like this happened? Christian fingers turned into Twitter fingers, yo. What happened? Listen, if you're a believer and you're out here trying to boycott Nike over this, please stop. I guarantee you that what you're doing is not bringing no honor to God, man. I feel like we made a fool of ourselves. How weak was the faith? Someone made 1,000 pairs of a sneaker and called them Satan shoes. And we're going to sell this to the people. And it's going to be a controversy. And we're going to make headlines. And this is how we're going to do it. And Christians was just like, yep, sign me up for the marketing ploy. Wherever I can, whatever role I can play. What can I do? I do it for free, chicken. What can I do? What can I do to push your story out to the masses? Because that's all I saw. Let me see. The average Christian has about 50 followers on Instagram. Average. I'm not saying that's all, but average. You know what? I'll give you 100. The average Christian has 100 followers on Instagram. Every Christian and their mother was just like, oh, Satan shoes, Satan shoes. We rebuke Nike. We rebuke the devil, blah, 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 blah. And you guys single-handedly provided free commercial, free ad. Like, you didn't even get paid any ad revenue for your hard work in making sure that the world knew that these sneakers existed. It didn't happen because of Lil Nas X. It didn't happen because of Nike. It happened because of you. And what was at the root of it is the fact that you feel like you can actively share your opinion whenever and however you want, whichever way you feel, because all we have the power at our fingertips. If all I have is 100 followers, well, these 100 followers are going to know my agenda. Well, your agenda was to single-handedly provide free publicity for something that you say you don't believe in. You post. How do I say this? I feel like the Christian community provided more publicity for these sneakers than they did Jesus, the word, truth, stuff that can be life-saving. If we posted with the same energy, with the same passion as we did over these Satan shoes about things that actually matter and make a difference to our community, there would be a difference. I completely believe that. People who don't even post, people who aren't even on social media, they just got the app because, man, I got to spread this agenda around. Well, what did you think? What didn't you take some time to consider that maybe, just maybe, this was the plan all along? That maybe no one really knows who Lil Nas X is, and if they did, man, who really cares? Because, I mean, one hit wonder, maybe 3 songs were all right, maybe, but everybody knew who he was for a month. Thanks to you. We gotta get better. We gotta do better than that. I'm sorry. That was a rant. Maybe I'll add a rant portion to the podcast because that was severely disappointing. I'm not saying I don't understand why it was done. I'm just saying there is a better way to go about it. And the reason why we went about it the way that we did is because social media just allows people the opportunity to react, to vent, to rant, to say whatever comes to your head as soon as it comes without taking time to really see past what your emotions are telling you at a given moment. That's a very dangerous thing because that makes you a tool. That makes you very easy to manipulate. If I know what button to push and if I push this button, you're going to respond this way, then I know how to control you. And you have to not give anyone the opportunity to control you. And if that means just staying away from social media for a little while, then do it. But I guarantee you that you won't be a tool. And with that, let me just get into the word. Let me just so I'm not gonna. I took time to think about how I felt about this one. It's been weeks. This is still how I feel after weeks. We went about that the wrong way. We got to do better. We have to do better. I'm going to read this Bible verse. It has nothing to do with anything else we spoke about, but just a Bible verse that resonated with me. 1 Samuel 3:7. Now, Samuel, yes, that's my name. Oh, you guys don't know that? Do you guys know my whole name? I ruined the surprise. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him. Now what's going on here is that you guys know Samuel was taken to the, what's the word? Not really a church, the temple, given over to Eli as a baby, and was raised in the temple and raised next to God. And this is when God is calling out to Samuel. And he's like, I don't know if he says, Samuel, come here. Let me see. Does the Lord came and stood there calling out as the other time, Samuel, Samuel. So he didn't really say anything. He just called him by name. But Samuel's hearing this voice call his name, and he keeps going over to Eli. He's like, yo, what's good? What up? What's going on? And he does that 2 or 3 times. And Eli recognizes that God is trying to communicate with Samuel. And he tells him, listen, next time you hear someone call out to you, Samuel then said, speak, for your servant is listening. Eli tells him, respond that way. And Samuel does that. And he gets to have his first conversation with God. And the point that I want to point out, and why I went to that, 1 Samuel 3:7. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him, is because he had already he spent several years in the temple. He was not born there, but he was there at least in his infancy. Maybe, I think he was younger than a year old. He was taken to the temple after his mother was done weaning, and that's how you're saying him. Like he can eat other foods, whatever. I don't know how old that is, but he had been living in the temple for quite some time. And God spoke to him, tried to communicate with him, and he didn't recognize God's voice, didn't know what it sounded like. He did not yet know God, as the scripture says. And I thought to myself, isn't it something? Someone can be going to church for years and not know God. You can be going to church your entire life and not know God and not hear the voice of God. And you might think the reaction, the initial reaction is to judge and criticize, right? If I told you right now, I've been going to church for 20 years and I don't know God, you'd be like, oh, you're doing something wrong. Oh, you're not really a Christian. You're not connecting. You're not. Sorry, it's the nitro. Whoo. It's a whoo. You would criticize me, and rightfully so, because I think about the scenario and I'm like, clearly you're doing something wrong in this scenario. But we know through the scripture that Samuel didn't do anything wrong. He didn't. If anything, he was an example for us to follow. He served diligently and well in the temple and still didn't know God. So what does that mean? First of all, we just have to stop with the criticism. Thinking that just because someone is where they are, it's easy to judge that at first glance. It's very easy. 20 years in the gospel, you should know better. But it's not really up to you. And I think that's the point here. Samuel didn't get to know God until God wanted him to. And we have to be mindful of that, because a lot of the times we try to force connections, force relationships. I know I did that. First year going to church, I forced myself into getting to know God. And what I was really listening to, and the voice I was listening to in my head, was nothing more than my own projections of what I wanted God to sound like. But I didn't know. I read the Bible. I prayed. I worshiped. I was all in. But I didn't yet know. And there was nothing that I was doing incorrectly. It just wasn't the time that God had set up for our encounter. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of your encounter time. Be mindful and make that prayer, because you can't really tell. You can't tell when it's you and when it's God. If you want to say truly that you can, then I have to tell you that you've been misled, because let's talk about, was it Elijah or Elisha? But he runs over to the cave, and he knows what the word of God, what the voice of God has sounded like in the past. He heard it in the earthquake and the rumble. He heard it in the thunder. He heard it in the wind. And so when he heard those things again, he figured it must be God, but it wasn't. And then he heard the voice of God for the first time in this new package, which was quiet, subtle, small. And had he gotten frustrated, or had he not been diligent to really pay attention to what he was listening to when he heard the rumble, when he heard the thunder, when he heard the wind, he would have missed it. So I get it. Maybe you have heard the voice of God, right? And maybe you're waiting to hear it again in that same way, shape, or form. But guys, let's not force it, right? Let's not force it. Samuel was in the temple for a while, close to God, near God, living in the temple. This man was 24/7 in the presence of God, and still didn't know him. And you know what? He wasn't doing anything wrong. Take that with you. Food for thought. Let me know what you guys are thinking regarding that, because I think it's important. My camera just let me know that this video was about to end because my battery's dying. So y'all, it's been real. It's your boy Sam with Vertical Expressions. Thank you so much for the support. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be trying to make more consistent videos like this, where maybe I'm not talking about much. Maybe I'm just sharing my thoughts. Maybe there are no headlines. Maybe there's no specific topic, but I do want to share the word. I do want to share the things that go on in my week with you. And please, guys, comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Respond. Let me know your thoughts. I'm not saying that everything that I'm saying in this video is right, and I'm not saying that God is saying anything on behalf of me. I'm just a Christian just like you, trying to make it. And if you're not a believer, I'm just a kid just like you, trying to make it. So it is what it is. See you guys next time. Not another Christian podcast. It's your boy. Peace.